Good afternoon, and thank you for the kind introduction, Dean Mahoney. It's my honor today to introduce our keynote speaker. But since I'm sure that most of you have either ignored or deleted the hundreds of emails I've sent you this year, I figured I would take this opportunity, while I finally have you as a captive audience, to make a few remarks. First, I'd like to announce an accomplishment for which our class will be remembered long after we leave this great school, our class gift. It is UVA law tradition for the graduating students to pledge donations to the law school for the next 5 years. This year, the class of 2009 has set all-time records, both in terms of the total number of donors and percentage participation. I'm happy to report that our class gift will be the pledge donation of 374 of our graduates, representing 93% of the graduating class. Our willingness to give back is proof of how much each of us values our UVA law experience. Yet as much as we cherish the time we spent here, it is now time to look forward. After 3 years of hard work, we're headed out into the real world, probably to work even harder. The real world looks a lot different today than we thought it would when we arrived here in 2006. The recent economic downturn has significantly affected the legal world, and we have not been spared. Some of us have had our start dates pushed back. Some of us are doing unexpected year-long fellowships, and others are still looking for jobs. Launching our legal careers in this state of uncertainty and confusion has made us all apprehensive. But as graduates of UVA, we can take comfort in the fact that we are prepared for everything. Virginia law has given us so much more than just a top-rate legal education. From the first day of school, when we met our 1L sections, till today, as we sit here, crafty law school veterans, we learn how to work together effectively. We learn how much we can accomplish when we listen to and trust in one another. We learn that law school is more than just rules and standards. It's about helping people and improving our communities. In short, at UVA, we have become not just lawyers, but citizen lawyers. So instead of facing the impending uncertainty with fear, let's view it as an opportunity. Times like these are when citizen lawyers are needed most, not just in the legal profession, but in every profession. Now is when the cooperation, integrity, and community involvement that we learned here are of utmost importance. Using the skills that UVA taught us, we have the opportunity, over the course of our careers, to remake the practices and institutions of this country for the better. And we can make this impact no matter what we choose to do with the degrees we receive today. Our class is sending graduates not only to law firms, but to prosecutors' offices, financial institutions, the government, public interest groups, and international legal bodies, all of which can use the skills of a UVA lawyer. Therefore, I challenge the class of 2009 to always remember what we learned here at UVA. Apply the lessons of community and service every day, and take pride in the responsibility of improving the institutions around us. Now is the time that we, as UVA lawyers, can make an immediate and long-lasting impact on the world. And one example of such a citizen lawyer who has used his legal education to enlighten and inform the world is today's distinguished speaker, Evan Thomas. While studying here, Mr. Thomas was a member of the Student Legal Forum, which brought to ground such impressive speakers as tennis legend Arthur Ashe and former Secretary of State Dean Rusk. Mr. Thomas also participated in the Libel show while he was here. His 2L year, the show was called Our Floundering Fathers, the Mirth of a Nation. And he and his wife were members of the Kick Line in a skit entitled Debaucherers of the American Revolution. After graduating from UVA in 1977, Mr. Thomas began his career in journalism with Time magazine, for which he was a writer and editor until 1986. He then moved to Newsweek, where he was the Washington bureau chief for 10 years. From 1991 to 2006, he was Newsweek's assistant managing editor, and since then, he has been the magazine's editor-at-large. Mr. Thomas is the lead author of major news stories at Newsweek, and he has had more than 100 of his articles grace the magazine's cover. He led Newsweek's coverage of the September 11 attacks and of the War on Terror, for which Newsweek received the National Magazine Award for General Excellence in both 2002 and 2004. Mr. Thomas has also received a number of personal awards, including the 2005 National Magazine Award for the Best Single Topic Issue for his coverage of the 2004 presidential election. We are very fortunate to have a speaker who has used his law degree in such an interesting and unique way, here today to share his words of wisdom with us. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Evan Thomas.